the Renegades of Pop. I'm RJ.
I'm Andrea.
And before we get started on today's episode, just a couple little plugs. If you're liking us, be sure to subscribe. Click the little bell. That way you get updates on when we upload. Like this video. It really does help. And follow us on Instagram. And join the Facebook group so you can, hang out with us. So let's go ahead and get started with today's topic. What is your topic?
My topic today is timeless albums, like albums you think are amazing from start to finish, or like, something that meant something to you, like you heard it and you were like, holy crap, like this is the best thing I've ever heard. And it's just like, you can listen to it all the time. Like it is just something you don't have to stop. You don't have to next the song. Like you can listen to it all the way through and it's as good as the first time you heard it as it is now.
Okay. Do you got one right off the bat?
Oh, I have a list.
Oh.
I made a list because,
Ain't you special?
No, because, for every time in your life, there's a different album that you... Yeah, I have a few.
Okay,
I have a list. Okay, but I will start off first since they just released their new album, Ohms. I will talk about Deftones and some of their timeless albums. People are going to name White Pony. White Pony is very timeless.
All right.
Also very mainstream.
Yeah, just real quick, I want to talk about that album. I listened to that album for the very first time, like a month ago? It was
probably when Ohms came out. You were like, I'm going to listen to White Pony all the way through.
Yeah, because I watched this YouTube video about how it really changed the band's sound. And it was really interesting to me enough to where I was like, I'm going to check out this album. I'm going to go from beginning to end in order, not shuffled. It's a damn good album. And you don't even have to be the hugest Deftones fans. If you're just into that heavier genre of music, it's fucking great.
Yeah, White Pony was the first Deftones album I had ever heard, and that's what kind of got me into Deftones. Yeah. But I won't say that it's by far my favorite album. I think, I'm not going to be one of those people oh, it's so mainstream. Ugh. No, that's fucking lame. No, but I do think Saturday Night Wrist is probably my favorite Deftones album.
What's on that album?
That's Hole in the Earth. Shit.
Anything I actually know. Isn't Swerve City on
nothing.
That?
No, that's Koi no Yokan.
I do like that album.
No, I know you do.
That's a good
album. It's a good album. I have it on vinyl just because I couldn't find any of their other albums at the record store at the time, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this just to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn, why can't I think of songs on that fucking album?
I don't know,
but it's a really good album. I enjoy listening to that one. Diamond Eyes is a really good album to listen all the way through. I think you bought me that on vinyl.
I did.
It's that's a great album. There's a lot of really good, really strong songs on that album.
I recently just told you this, but
yeah.
I was actually at the Diamond Eyes release party. To see my friend's band who were opening up for Deftones. I didn't pay any attention to Deftones, and I kind of probably should have.
He probably didn't even know who the fuck Deftones were.
I knew who they were because I knew Change in the House of Flies. Okay, so I'm not fucking completely ignorant.
Nah.
Anyways, all right, I'm gonna talk about one of my albums.
Okay,
because it was one of those things where
I had it on my list.
I don't think it is.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think it is.
All right.
So, it actually recently came on, one of the songs came on from that album because I just had my music on shuffle and I was like, holy shit, I need to go back and listen to this because it is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's a debut album from this band. When I say band, it's one man.
Oh, God.
And that would be 9 Inch Nails. Pretty Hate Machine.
Oh, okay. That's not what I thought it was going to be.
Watch your feet, girl.
I know, I'm sorry.
Kicking the camera.
I didn't mean
kicking the fucking camera.
I got really long legs, guys. I'm sorry.
Anyways, no, for real. Fucking Pretty Hate Machine. I love every song on that album. It is solid all the way through. Oh my God. It is just so, so good. I'm forgetting all the track names because I've never really looked at the track names
Right?
just because I literally listen to it every time all the way through. So of course you have like Head Like a Hole, Sin, Only.
It's
Hold
not on
on.
that album.
No, I'm thinking of a different one. Hold on.
Terrible Lie.
Terrible Lies. That's a good one. No, now we're getting awkward silence because I can't fucking get my shit together. When I said only, I meant The Only Time. That is the song I was thinking.
I'm like,
of.
he has another song.
No. Yeah. He has another song, which is a good song. Down in It. Like I said, Sin is really, really good. Like that's one of my favorites.
You know what? And now that you're looking at, I went and looked at Saturday Night Wrist. Like that is one of the only albums that I have the whole thing of like in my like phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I have that
Really?
whole album. I don't think I have the whole album of White Pony and like the rest of them. Like I kind of like pick and choose, but like I have the whole, like I can listen to Saturday Night Wrist like all the way through because it's like, I don't know, like you, like if you watch like, you know, music documentary shit on like YouTube and stuff like that, like, you know, them talking about Saturday Night Wrist, like it was just kind of like a difficult album for them and like them like breaking up or like almost breaking up and them not being in like a good place. And that really fucking sucks, but I'm like, that's a great album. Like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that time it worked out for them.
Yeah.
But a time that it didn't would be Gore because they even said that there was like, you know, issues with.
I haven't watched anything about Gore, but I
haven't watched anything about Gore, but I was reading how like Stefan was super unhappy.
Really?
He was like, dude, I want to do something more progressive and different than what we normally do. And like,
and that's why Gore is what it is. Because I'm not gonna lie, Gore is not my favorite. Like I like maybe one or two songs off that album. I was really disappointed about it, but I'm like, I still go to support them. I go to their shows. I don't give a shit. Like I don't care. Like I'm gonna support them. I love their music and I like what they're about. I don't give a shit.
what's another album?
Another album, and I kind of have like a plethora of different genres of music. I put Control, SZA. That's a good album to listen to all the way through.
Okay.
Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory, all the way through.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know. Because I mean, I remember when that album came out, and my little brother got it. Because I was like, "What the fuck is Linkin Park?" That sounds David.
Oh, okay.
Very lame. I thought like Linkin Park was lame, but I didn't know anything about Linkin Park. Like, you know, I didn't know anything about them. And then I listened to the album. I'm like, holy crap, this is pretty good. And like the first track is just like just hits you. And I'm like, it's Paper Cut. Paper Cut's the first track off of Hybrid Theory. And it's really good. That's still a pretty solid album. I don't think I can listen to it all the way through these days. But there's some hard hitters on that one.
Yeah. Let's see here. What's another one for me?
Here's one that we can both talk about. Tourist History, Two Door Cinema Club. That's a great album. That's a really good album.
I didn't expect that from you because we don't really, usually talk about.
I know.
Even though we both like
Two
Door Cinema Club, but we don't really talk about it. No. She always gives me shit for listening to fucking poppy ass music, but yet she likes fucking Two Door Cinema Club.
Oh, don't get like Backstreet Boys is on this list too.
Oh shit, which one?
Millennium. Okay. Millennium is a great album I can listen to all the way through.
That is
now.
A classic.
Yeah, because I'm like that was probably I think that was like maybe the second or fourth CD I'd ever gotten, like ever. My first ever CD was Spice Girls, Spice World. Another one, I didn't put it on the list, but that's all another album I can listen to all the way through. Like, but that's just because, the nostalgia, and I love Spice Girls, and anybody can fight me about that, because Spice World and Spice, both very, very solid. Forever, can suck a dick.
So, real quick. This one, you're not going to agree with me. You do like this album. You do like this band, but you don't like every song on this album, but I do.
All right.
It's Nothing But Thieves' first album.
Is that the one with the horse on it?
Yes, that's the one with the horse. So it has Honey Whiskey, Ban All the Music.
If I Get High.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like, I love that album. And that album, like, That album really holds a special place in my heart just because I very much identify that album with us when we were living in downtown because that's when I discovered them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also when I kind of was getting back in this mood of like, or getting back into this whole like, oh, I'm in California again. I'm not living in Texas. I'm back in California, but I'm also in San Diego, which is slightly new to me. So like it's very nostalgic.
Oh, really?
To put those two together.
I never knew that. That's pretty cool.
Because like I remember sorry I hit your mic, but I remember the first time I played it for you is because we were in La Jolla. We were coming back from fucking Galaxy Tacos. Is that what it was?
No, I don't know where.
I'm pretty sure it was Galaxy Tacos. We went with your parents and your family. I'm pretty sure it was Galaxy. We were getting back on the freeway to head back home. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
I think we were there for something else, but I don't know. I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Fair enough. But yeah, so definitely Nothing But Thieves' first album.
Okay. Do you know the name of the album? In case people want to, like, if you never heard of Nothing But Thieves, you can go check them out. I only know it as an album with a horse on it. I don't know what the name of it. It might be a self-titled.
It might be self-titled, but give me 1 second here, guys.
So yeah, I have a few more.
Yeah, no, it's self-titled. That's
okay.
Why. It's Nothing But Thieves.
All right, it has a horse on it.
It has a horse on it. Indeed.
All right, next on my list, I already talked about Millennium, Backstreet Boys. This one, you whatever, you say whatever the fuck you want, but Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon is a great album to listen to all the way through. Like, my parents took me to Laser Floyd, and like that was the shit. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just remember being like, it was like a crossroads for me. Like the first time I heard that, like I had been like in like a group of kids, like, you know, I think I was in junior high. I was like 12 or 13 years old. And I was like in this transition of like all these kids, like making fun of me and like kind of giving me a hard time because like I didn't want to listen to like rap and like R&B and pop all the time. Like I liked listening to other things. And like they kind of like, you know, would make fun of me. Cause like I started hanging out with a different group, like a group of alternative kids, just because like they were just like, hey, you're kind of like into the same kind of music as us, and I had really like nowhere to go, and they kind of like took me in as friends. No, it was middle school. Okay. It was middle school. And so, like, one of them was like, hey, like, we were sitting in, like, computer class, and I'm like, hey, check out this album. And we were on a computer, and I put it in the computer and, like, was listening to it while we were doing, like, schoolwork or whatever. And it fucking, like, changed my life. Like, I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is, like, the best thing I had ever heard. And it was, like, my stepdad always listened to, like, new wave and, like a
80s.
lot, yeah, like, a lot of 80s,
so Danny Elfman,
yeah,
Oingo
Boingo, Duran, Depeche Mode, like all that stuff,
and then like early 90s stuff.
Yeah, and then my mom listened to like soft rock and like R&B, like old school R&B, like 70s R&B, like Al Green and shit. So like I just like kind of like I was conditioned to listen to pop music because that's like what all the kids were listening to, and even though that really didn't vibe with me, and I just like fought him so hard on like music to listen to because I'm like, oh well, that's not cool. Everybody else doesn't listen to this music. And then like as I got older, I was just like, this is the music I've been listening to my whole life that like, you know, it resonates with me. But like that was like the first time I had listened to Pink Floyd, and I was just like, holy shit, like there's this other level of music that I haven't listened to before, and I need to find this out. And like that's how I ended up getting into like Led Zeppelin and all this other stuff. And I kind of went into like this classic rock, like, you know, so it was just like pop, R&B, new wave, whatever. And then I got into like classic rock, and then as we got older we got into like punk and like rockabilly and like, you know, all this other stuff until now, and I'm just like listening to whatever the fuck I want.
So I don't like Pink Floyd, guys.
Most people don't. A lot of like my friend, like metalhead friends and like punk friends are like, fuck that shit, like, you know.
However, I can listen to David Gilmour's guitar playing all fucking day long. As a guitarist, I can appreciate him and his artistry and his musicianship. I just don't fucking like Pink Floyd.
But you know what I think it is you don't like the what's his name? The other guy. Like the Wall guy. Like the other dude in Pink Floyd. Like, you know, what's his name? something Waters. Roger Waters.
Roger Waters.
Like, I don't like his kind of Pink Floyd. Like, I love, like, the David Gilmour, like, kind of, like, watery, really mellow, like, melodic shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, like, I mean, I wasn't smoking weed at the time, but, like, you know what I mean? Like,
wasn't getting high.
no, I didn't know anything about that. But, like, just, like, I was too little, but I know that there was kids doing that shit, and, like, that's okay. No judgment here. You know, but I'm just like that.
I was one of those little kids.
What the fuck ever. Like, you know, it did something for me, and it kind of like changed the, like, I don't want to say the trajectory of my life, but, you know, like, everybody has like that, you know, like that scene in like Superbad. He's like, oh, it was like the first time I heard the Beatles. Like, you know, like people have like those albums or those bands that like it did something to them, and they were just like, holy crap, like there's this whole other world that I didn't know about.
So, just kind of go back to the point.
To reel it in.
Reel it in.
To reel it back in. Because, like,
girl.
I kind of went off on a tangent.
Yeah, a little bit. But that's okay. That's what we're here for. That's why you listen. Anyways, or watch. Whatever you prefer. Any other albums? I would like to say, and she cringes every time I fucking say this album.
Is it fucking Taylor Swift?
It's not T Swift. It's not T Swift. And I won't mention his name either because, you know. Because
he's on the shit list. He's on everybody's
shit list. But everybody was listening to fucking Ryan Adams' 1984 like it was like fucking going out of style.
I thought it was 1989.
89. I'm sorry.
1984, you're thinking of George Orwell?
I am. Anyways, stop kicking the fucking camera.
Sorry.
Christ, back up. Back the fuck up.
He told me to scoot up, you guys.
Fuck up.
He's like, scoot the fuck up. And I'm like, okay. And then I kick the camera and I'm like, up.
Stop kicking the camera.
I don't mean to. I'm just stretching my legs out.
Like, fuck.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry, guys. What the fuck was I talking about?
You were talking about Ryan Adams' 1989.
Anyways, that's not the album I was talking about, though.
Okay.
You just brought up T Swift. No. Fucking Fleetwood Mac. The Dance, baby. The Dance. The Dance. Oh. Best live album ever. Fuck y'all. Fight me.
I think Fleetwood Mac is an awesome band. I've never listened to that album except, like, you know, songs he's pulled off for me to listen to. But
whole
I'm like,
album's fucking great.
I mean, but that's also one of those albums that because your aunt listened to all the way in the car, like, all the time. Like, that's an album that means something to you.
No, absolutely. And I feel like that's part of this. You just went, don't judge me. You just went on this fucking 30-minute rant about how Pink Floyd changed your fucking life. Suck a dick.
That's not the same thing.
It's true.
It's not. I'm
hell.
talking about a specific experience, but that is something that you guys listen to all the time. But do you feel like because you listen to it all the time, it means something to you, or do you feel like it's like legit?
It's because one, essentially, it's a greatest hits album. The performance itself is fucking on point. The added band with UCLA fucking playing to like Don't Stop and shit like that is fucking great.
Okay.
Like that whole album has all their hits, and honestly, most of those songs that's the preferred way of me wanting to listen to that song. Like The Chain is whatever, but The Chain live on The Dance is fucking hard hitting, bass heavy, and it's fucking great. Big Love, same thing. Big Love is like kind of like techno-y and not techno-y, but like synth driven and shit on the official recording. No, this is just fucking Lindsey Buckingham and his fucking crazy ass right hand of a fucking player on his guitar doing like 4 different parts. Like, it's fucking great.
All right.
I'm just saying, y'all.
He was very passionate about that. And
that's right.
And that's what's supposed like
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Like, you know, like albums that mean some shit to you or that do something to you. Another one, Siamese Dream, Smashing Pumpkins.
For that. I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
That's like everybody's. Let's be
Is
fair.
it though? Is it?
When it comes to Pumpkins, Siamese Dream is the album that everybody refers to as the greatest thing that they've ever done. As a whole, it's the greatest thing that they've ever done.
As a whole. as a whole, I enjoy Smashing Pumpkins, all of their albums, but that is an album because I didn't have a choice. Like, like I would go through my stepdad's CD collection and I would just just play albums over and over again in my little Walkman, my little CD Walkman player. And I would listen to that like all night long. That and Nevermind, but like that's not on the list. But I'm just saying it's not on the list.
10 by Pearl Jam.
That's on the list?
Fucking great album.
I have never listened to that album all the way.
That's a fucking great album. I will say 10. 10 is a great album. Do you mind? I'm on airplane mode so we don't get interrupted with calls. Can I use your internet on your phone? Because there's an album I want to look up the name to.
Okay. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to mention another one. Love Deluxe by Sade. That is a great album. Like, I love to, like, light some candles and read a book and, like, just be kind of, like, it's very, like, mellow and sexy and just, like, I don't want, like, witchy. Like, to me, it's witchy. Like, I mean... You can fight me about that. Very seductive, but it's not. I don't feel like it's trying to be. Like, that's just like her voice and like the music, and it's very jazzy and very like, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe with the candles and shit and like reading a book and like, because I think I was reading sexy books like Outlander, and like I'm just like, it's just a mood.
So there's an album. It's not a very popular album. It's not really timeless for anybody else probably. But again, it's one of those ones that hits me where I live.
Okay.
And it's by Ozzy Osbourne, the man himself. No More Tears album. Okay. So you got Mr. Tinkerton. You got Mama, I'm Coming Home. Fun fact about Mama, I'm Coming Home. That song was literally drilled into me to like it. And what I mean by that is like one time I forget where me and my aunt were going, but we were going on some trip and she played it and I was a kid. I'm like, I fucking hate this song. Let's change the song. I can't stand it. I hate it. But then like I started really appreciate it. It's a fucking great ballad. You've got like I say, No More Tears. You got Hellraiser. That's a good Ozzy track. And this is like Zakk Wylde era. I don't think it's the first album he was on, but it might have been. It might have been the first album that Zakk Wylde was the guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne. So another reason why I appreciate it is because like back when I was like into like metal and stuff, like Zakk Wylde was the shit. Like I liked Black Label Society. I was one of those kids. Fucking speed metal and shit.
I'm wearing a Dio shirt and haven't mentioned fucking Holy Diver. Like,
Holy Diver!
That's a great album, too. That's also another album I can listen to all the way through. Like, is it one of my favorite albums? No. But I think, like, it's timeless. I mean, I like listening to Dio.
I love Dio.
I feel like he's really underrated.
Shit. Yeah.
And you know what? Because, like, one of my friends, she's like, oh, fucking Dio sucks. But I'm like, you know what? Ivana's like,
this is a shout out to you. Go fuck yourself. You're wrong.
You know what?
I love you, girl.
That's not nice. That's not nice.
No, because like I'm sorry, but like fucking Dio, like Black Sabbath's Dio, like
Heaven and Hell.
They call themselves now that.
Oh, not anymore. They did.
They did.
They're not dead. He's dead.
Anyways. But like I love Sabbath, like Dio Sabbath. That's some good shit.
It's really good.
That's some
voice,
fucking great shit.
His voice is like really, really like. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, he's very distinct, but Dio is just like, I don't know.
I mean, Dio's just a better singer. I'm sorry, Ozzy Osbourne's iconic because he's different. The same way I feel like Billy Corgan's voice is different. But as a traditional singer, as someone who is literally using their vocal cords as an instrument, fucking there's fewer greater than Dio, in my opinion, in the metal genre, rock genre, if you will.
Yeah.
By the way, we're drinking the cheap shit today.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little high life.
Good stuff, especially I had it on icy.
Yeah,
and I was
left it in there too long. It was quite delish. And I even had a sip. Anyways, guys, let us know down below in the comments timeless albums to you and why they're, they hold a special place in your heart.
Yeah. Because I'm sure there's like a bunch of them. Like, I mean,
we're going to think of a bunch of them when we end this topic.
After we're done. Like, oh shit, we should have talked about that. But,
it happens every
let us know,
time.
like, what you're into or, something that means something.
And if you're listening to the podcast only, join us on the Facebook group and tell us on there your favorite timeless album.